How's it going everyone? Dan Guitar here, where you'll find fun, easy to follow lessons for the beginner guitarist. Today I want to talk to you about the chord progression, the 12-bar blues, from the song Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan to Johnny B. Good by Chuck Berry. This chord progression is the formation of thousands and thousands of blues tunes, and I think it's a chord progression every beginner must know if they're seeking to play the blues on the guitar. So without further ado, we're going to break this down nice and slowly so it's beginner friendly. I'm going to show you the structure of the 12-bar blues and how to play it in its simplest form. Okay, so the good news is all we need for this chord progression are 3 chords, and we're going to play it in the key of A, so it's played in its most simplest form and it's beginner friendly. However, if you've never played a chord before and you don't know how to read chord diagrams, please feel free to check out my free course that's in the description below. It's completely free of charge and it will give you everything you need to get you started on your guitar learning journey. So here are the chords. We have A7, a D7, and an E7. So I'm going to break those down slowly. So we have A7, which is the first finger played on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then the middle finger, the 2nd finger played on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. This one is played from string 5. D7 is our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and then our 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. This chord is played from the 4th string. Finally, we have an E7, which is the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. This one is played from string 6. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to learn the 12-bar blues in its most simplest form. In case you hadn't guessed already, the 12-bar blues consists of 12 bars in total, and there's a particular structure within those 12 bars in terms of when the chords change and how long we spend on each chord. So if we learn it in a chord form first of all, like this, just strumming the chords, we'll later on go on to more interesting things like that kind of idea where we're playing more riff-based stuff, but we want to learn the fundamentals first to make it as beginner-friendly as possible. So using the chords that we just discussed, A7, D7 and E7, we're now going to break down the structure and the cycle of the 12-bar blues using those 3 chords. Now you may or may not have heard the term a 1-4-5 progression. That's what we describe in the blues. They're the chords that make up the blues progression, the 12-bar blues. It's a 1-4-5. It's called the 1-4-5. It's because if we're thinking in context of the first chord, the 1 would be A, or A7 in this case. Usually in blues, 7th chords are what make up the chord type. So A7 would be the 1, that'd be the first chord in the progression. If we go through the musical alphabet from there, A, B, it'd be C sharp next, and then D, that's 4 away from A. So that would be the 4 chord, and then 1 more from D would be E, so that would be 5 from A, and that would be E7, that would be the 5 chord. So we have the 1, the 4, and then the 5. So it's a 1-4-5 progression. Now what I'm going to do now is talk you through how long we spend on each of those chords. So usually in the blues we spend 4 bars. The first 4 bars are spent on the 1 chord, which in this case is A7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. And then the 4th bar, 2, 3, 4. Change to the 4 chord, D7. This is for 2 bars. So bars 5 and 6, and then we're back in bars 7 and 8, so 2 bars on A7. In bar 9, we're going to jump to E7 for 1 bar. That's bar 9. Bar 10, we go back to D7, the 4 chord, for 1 bar. And then in bar 11, we go back to the 1 chord, A7 for a bar, and then E7 for a bar. So I'm going to talk you through the bars. So we have A7, the 2nd bar, third bar, fourth bar. Let's jump down 2 bars on D7, so bar 5, bar 6, back to bar 7, so 7 on A7, bar 8, bar 9 on E7, bar 10 on D7, bar 11 on A7, and finally bar 12 on E7. So again, later on, you would take this same chord progression and apply it to this kind of thing, or this kind of thing. It's the same idea, the same amount of time is spent on each chord. Jump down to the 4 chord. So it can get much more interesting and much more advanced, but again, we're just breaking it down in its most simplest form so that we learn the fundamentals. You have to learn the chord progression first, especially if you want to go on to play solos and things like that. If you don't know the 12-bar blues and the actual cycle of when these chords come in, then forget it. There's literally no point you even applying how to play the blues and everything else in a lead context until you've learned the chord progression. So it's extra important. So we've learned the chord progression in its simplest form. There is another way and a slight variation you can play this chord progression, which is where this is called a quick change blues, okay? So it's still 12 bars, but on the second bar, we briefly go to the 4 chord for 1 bar. So this is another variation we can use. So we have A7, D7 for a bar, and then back to A7 for the remaining bars. Bars 5 and 6, we still go to D7, so everything else is the same. The only difference there is that in the second bar, we briefly jump to the 4 chord, in this case D7. And then again, E7, D7, A7, and finally E7. So that's the chord progression in its most simplest form and in a quick change where we temporarily go to the 4 chord in the second bar, but everything else is still the same cycle in a 12-bar context. Thanks for watching, everyone. That was my short lesson there on how to play a 12-bar blues in its most simplest form using chords. If you'd like a more detailed lesson in terms of how you can go on to the next steps and play some interesting rhythmic ideas, more riff-based stuff, then I'm more than happy to provide a tutorial on that. Just leave your comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like more easy to follow tutorials. Have a lovely day, everyone, and I'll see you again soon.